thank the chair. I'd like to begin by thanking each of the panelists for being here. But Mr. Moore, you all are doing a fantastic job in South Georgia, and I'm deeply grateful for the leadership that you're exhibiting there. And Madam Chair, I would like to ask unanimous consent to add to the record. He had mentioned a PowerPoint presentation that none of us got to see, but I would ask unanimous consent.
Without objection.
For that to be added.
Ordered.
Thank you. It is interesting to me that we're coming to some, all of us, I think on both sides of the aisle, agree that what's most important is to get an accurate count. And yet what seems to hijack every one of these census hearings is a citizenship question. And I again would assume that everyone in this room would agree it's important for us as a country to know how many people here who are citizens. That's about as basic as you can get. It's important for us to have that information. How we go about getting it is I suppose there's multiple ways for that to be done. But what I get annoyed at is how that issue is used really to attack the president. And I don't think that's fair. I think that's unnecessary, and there's no reason for us to create an atmosphere of attacking the president on something constitutionally based as the census is. So I would just urge my colleagues on the other side to just take the politics out of this and let's try to get to the issue of an accurate count. And Mr. Moore, with that, I am grateful for the work that you are doing in South Georgia. Just from a broad perspective, how important is the impact in rural communities to having an accurate census?
Thank you, Congressman. It's critical, especially for us. I live in a community that has 46,000 population. I've taken notes from all of our speakers, and we're all working, I think, on the same primary goal. Colquitt County is a large agricultural community. We have a large migrant Hispanic population. And one thing that really attributed to our success in 2010 was we had a lady named Bertha Rojas that worked with County Extension. And she did prenatal programs, food and nutrition programs, finance programs with a lot of the migrant populations, and they trust Bertha. So she was on our complete count committee, and if she told them it was something that they needed to do, they participated in the census. I think they've even learned from that. So this year on the committee, they've got representatives from Guatemalan, Honduran, Haitian, different subcultures within that group. But it's critical. We talked about it briefly early on. The census data impacts everything that we do from an economic development perspective.
Okay, hit on that. From an economic development perspective, how does the census impact the economic
drives
development?
Jobs. I mean, I've been in economic development for 25 years. If you've got an industry that's looking at your community, they're going to want to make sure that they have people there that can work. They're going to want to go to communities that are growing, have good education, good health care, and can provide the workers that they need. If you're looking at opening up a restaurant or a dress shop, you're going to want to make sure you have consumers that can purchase your goods. They're going to want to go to communities that are growing. And I'm extremely competitive. I always wanted to win the deal, but I always wanted all of my neighbors and everyone around me to do well too, because companies don't look at county lines, they don't look at city lines, they look at market draws. So for a workforce perspective, we had 21,000 workers in Colquitt County, but we had 185,000 workers within a 30-minute drive, and that's what we sold. So it's critical, and again, education, healthcare, social programs, economic development, your grant data for roads, water, sewer, bridges, anything you do ties back to economic development.
So I think it's important for all of us to understand that the census has a great impact, not only just on our country, but on rural communities in particular. So with that, with the move this go around to go more online oriented, what is the absence of broadband in so many rural communities? What kind of impact will that have in getting an accurate count?
With us, we've worked on the awareness and education statewide, really. We know which areas don't have broadband. We already know that they're going to get a written form in that initial mailing that comes out on March 12th. They'll also get another written form in the 5th mailing that would come back out on April 8th. And we've also made arrangements for citizens. I mean, we've talked about Wednesday night suppers at church, having tablets there, having computers there that people can fill out the forms. Festivals, having opportunities to fill out the forms. Again, your libraries, your farm bureau, your city council, county commission, anywhere that people congregate, and making it easy for them. And I think that's what's really critical. If you explain why the census is important to them, their families, and their community, and tell them what it is and what it isn't, most people are going to voluntarily fill it out. I heard some low numbers earlier as far as response rates before people come to the doors. We've got maps on all 159 counties, and many of our counties have gotten 80-85% voluntarily response, which is what you want. So you don't have to send the enumerators door by door. And that's where you have a really low turnout and low response rate.
Thank you. I yield.